listen to a podcast? Do you like scary podcasts? What's your favorite scary podcast? Well, it better be Guide to the Unknown.
Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And this week we are talking about real-life vampires, theoretically.
Specifically a documentary?
Yes. Well, yeah, it's something that's purportedly a documentary on Discovery Plus. It's available now.
Yeah.
Called Vampires in America. And one of our listeners named Stephanie suggested that we check this out in our Facebook group. So thank you very much, Stephanie. And if anybody out there would like to join the group, that is facebook.com/groups/GTTUpod.
Yes. I am thrilled for this recommendation. Kristen and I talked a little bit behind the scenes about once we started watching this thing.
Yeah, it was very different from what I expected.
We had to have a very serious conversation about whether or not we can even do a show about it.
Yeah.
My feeling was, yeah, of course we can. And then the more I watched, I was like, am I right?
Well, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Right.
I have so much to say to you.
All right, great. Why don't you let the floodgates open?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not that I don't have things to say as well, but please.
You're okay just unleashing me?
Yes.
Unleash the beast?
Yeah, right. Let's slide that coffin lid open and see what happens.
All right. Here is the synopsis, just so that everybody's on the same page about what this is. Because this is a recent thing that the people who know that this exists can't understand it, but most people don't even know that this is out there.
Right.
So, Vampires in America purports to be a documentary. Here's the synopsis. An alarming surge in missing person cases sends vampire hunters to Arizona to investigate if a pack of blood-sucking fiends has emerged from hibernation. But their high-tech hunt uncovers a plan far more nefarious than they could have imagined.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't know how high-tech they're...
Well, they use Vampnet.
They do... Well, VNet. Is it Vampnet or VNet?
I think it's Vampnet.
Okay. Here's where the problems immediately begin. This is a documentary in name only?
Oh, absolutely.
There's going to be a lot of conjecture here, everybody. I have tried to figure out what the hell this thing is. So
I don't think the jury is out.
Let me just name it.
Okay. Gotta name it to claim it.
But we must name it to claim it.
Therapy thing.
It's true. So we follow a pair of self-professed vampire hunters. One is named Eric Straight, and the other...
Street?
I don't know.
I don't know.
And the other is Marcel von Tingen. They are to their knowledge, they are the only two vampire hunters in the United States.
Right.
And they have traveled the entire country, nay, the world, hunting vampires. Marcel von Tingen himself says this: I come from 25 generations of vampire hunters. Hearing the stories from my grandfather and from my father, vampires are so dangerous because they're hiding in plain sight. They look like us. They talk like us. They could be in the grocery aisle, in the post office. They could be your doctor. They could be your next door neighbor. They could even be your priest.
They could even be you.
You.
Right.
You might be a vampire and you don't know it. So I believe at a glance that this documentary, it's an hour and a half long, and I felt every minute of it.
Yeah, yes, me too.
This is very similar to all the times that Kristen and I have talked about Zach Bagans. I think that this is a documentary where they are saying, we are the authorities on this particular subject matter. For Zach Bagans, it was hunting ghosts.
Right.
For these guys, it is vampires.
I don't know if Zach would say he is the authority. I think these guys would say that they are the authorities, though.
These guys certainly do. You're right about Zach Bagans. I think that he at least has this, to start on Ghost Adventures. And we've talked if you haven't heard us talk about Ghost Adventures, just look it up.
May God have mercy on your
Oh,
soul.
good God. Guide to the Unknown, Ghost Adventures. Google that. So Zach Bagans has this stuff at the beginning of that show's history, like season 1, and the documentary, more importantly. He talks about how he didn't believe in ghosts until he came face to face with one.
Right.
So it's maybe not that he's the expert, but it's driven by a very personal story for him. 25 seasons of Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
And I think it's a similar thing here. Zach Bagans began with an 1.5-hour long documentary called Ghost Adventures, which he clearly sold and did really well with. The Travel Channel has produced 25 seasons. It's now on Discovery.
Is it literally 25?
I think so.
Wow.
But it's not 25 years. You know,
I know,
but it's a lot. And it's on Discovery Plus, just like this is. Soon to be merged with HBO Max, evidently.
I saw that.
Which is great.
Works for me because I use both of those streaming services regularly, so that's great.
And I don't use them regularly at all, and yet I have them. Mostly Discovery Plus I have for this.
Well, you have my login for HBO Max, I think, right? Or is it your own?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay, it doesn't matter.
So I think that Eric Strait and Marcel Van Tingen, on the surface, made this 90-minute documentary of them hunting vampires in the southwestern United States to sell as a pilot so that they can have their own show where they do this every week.
Yeah, I think that's entirely possible.
It's the most likely.
Yes.
But the show is so weird.
It's beyond weird. So I went into this sight unseen. I hadn't seen a trailer or anything, just Stephanie saying in the group, like, this is a show that exists.
Yeah.
I think that you should check it out. And, you know, whatever. So my expectation going into it was that I thought, so I guess she said that these are people who are hunting vampires that they think are responsible for deaths in Arizona.
Right.
I thought they meant people who see them, who are human, but identify themselves as vampires.
Right.
So I thought there was like a problem in the vampire community or something.
Yeah.
But very quickly you learn, no, they mean actual,
Yes.
like the living dead vampires. They say they're hominids, but they're not humans. They mean literal vampires like you see in the movies.
Some of them are thousands of years old.
Yes. So what did you think going into this?
Kristen, I had no idea. Throughout my notes, I think I kept writing down because I don't think I remembered last week you saying that we should do this. I did not remember you saying that a listener had suggested it.
Oh.
So I kept writing in my notes, why does Kristen know about this? Why? Because no one's talking about this. You know, and the people who are talking about it, because there are like a few.
And thank God that Stephanie did.
Yes. Oh, I'm thrilled.
Raise
Kristen,
your voice.
I am so happy that we watched this because it is so.
I am too. It is an oddity.
Man.
Beyond.
It's, you know what the kids are talking about these days, Chris? The young ones?
What?
They're talking about icebergs. Are you familiar with this?
No.
Go on YouTube, look up anything iceberg.
Okay.
And search, and you're going to find conspiracy theory videos. They're awesome.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. I'm familiar with them a lot for video games.
Uh-huh.
So we recently did, Grand Theft Auto, horror stuff and Easter eggs last week. We played Red Dead Redemption.
Yes.
On our Patreon this past Monday.
Mm-hmm.
People will make videos about the iceberg of Red Dead Redemption. So it'll be like the tip of the iceberg is you find this piece of graffiti in this area. But the further you get down the iceberg, then it starts becoming like, is it aliens?
Okay.
So icebergs are like the full breadth of wild conspiracy piece of media.
Okay.
And I think you could build an iceberg out of this show. Because Kristen, I started digging, anytime they mentioned a name on the show, I would Google it.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they put a newspaper clipping on screen, I would quote it and search for that so I could maybe find that newspaper article.
Good.
And then I started trying to dig into the two hosts themselves.
Yeah, I have some stuff there. Do you as well?
Oh, yeah. We can compare and contrast because it's wild.
Yeah.
And the reason why I instantly started trying to verify what was happening in the show is because they start by being like, yep, we're in the Southwest because there are a lot of missing persons cases here.
Mm-hmm.
Missing persons cases in the southwestern U.S. have been on the rise in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
This is a new documentary, by the way.
Yeah.
They're doing their investigation in 2020.
Right.
And they say that missing persons cases are on the rise. I've seen people dispute that and say, no, they've been going down. And they interview, one of the first people that they interview is a farmer.
Is he? No, he's not.
He's definitely not. They go to speak to a man who is clearly playing a farmer.
Okay.
It's an actor.
So
it's got to be.
Yes, I would like to say off the bat, part of why we're saying this is such an oddity, whatever, is because it is absolutely, unequivocally, I have no doubt in my mind, only populated by actors. Nobody who they are talking to is not an actor, and I am 100% certain of that. So I'm used to watching William
100% certain without verification.
Yes, but even in an interview that I read with Eric Strait or whatever, he was like, well, we want to leave that to the, we want to see what people think.
Okay.
He didn't say like, no, we seriously went and talked to people. Like I knew already, but that all but confirmed it when he said that. But anyway, so that's the weirdest thing about, well, maybe not the weirdest, but that's one of the weirdest things about it to me, because I'm used to, and I know William is not as much, because I'll dip into ghost shows. I, brought Ghost Adventures into our lives. I'll check out a Dead Files. I'm used to in like really weird material, but it's usually, it seems like they're talking to real non-actor people, and if they're lying, but they're still not like paid actors.
Right.
These were absolutely paid actors, pretending they were farmhands, pretending they were veterinarians, pretending that they were a victim of a vampire attack.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff, pretending that they were some sort of like, it was another PI. Yeah.
Another private investigator. Yeah.
I've never
seen anything like this in my life.
I've never seen such a thing.
So good. I'm glad that you said that, because I was thinking like, well, listen, I know that Travel Channel has developed a reputation for, weirdo reality shows.
Not like this.
No?
No, not that I've seen.
Because this purports to be real, and yet it feels so fake, and they're saying such outlandish things.
It's undoubtedly fake. Like I watch a lot of reality TV and people criticize it for being fake, and a lot of things are set up.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't feel fake to me, because I do think that these are real people reacting how they would react in situations that are perhaps forced. I'm talking about general reality TV.
This is basically a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we watched.
Yes.
But
it is very strange.
Put it out there as if it is real. And the next weird thing is that there was almost no marketing for this.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere I looked, people would write like, "Where did this come from?" I found no marketing for this whatsoever.
Eric Streit
Yeah.
remarked on that himself.
Oh, he did? What did he say?
Yes. Honestly just acknowledged the fact that there was like no marketing for this.
Yeah.
And that you would just come across it or something.
Well, mission accomplished then.
Yeah.
Here then, since we're now sort of maybe trying to figure out if this is a film, do you recommend Vampires in America?
I do. I would say
Yeah.
pop it on. You're not going to miss that much if you decide that you're bored with it,
Yeah.
like a little bit in. But I do. You got to see this. It's very strange. What about you?
I highly recommend Vampires in America.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
highly.
What an experience.
I had
what a moment.
I had so much fun looking at it. Sometimes getting annoyed at it.
Mhm.
Sometimes just being like, this probably was fun to make. And sometimes just being like having fun trying to parse out what's real and what's fake. And ultimately going like, I think it's all fake.
I can't tell what I think about our main characters.
Okay.
Because it seemed, by saying that, I mean, are they just straight up, actors or, I don't know, people who are just doing this for a cash grab, or do they really believe genuinely in vampires?
Right.
I don't know. Like, Eric Straight, in this interview that I read with him, did seem to know a lot about, I don't know, like religions and vampire lore and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I can't tell whether this was just like a blind, like, because also he was a reality TV producer.
Yes, he was.
So I don't know if it's just a cash grab sort of thing, or if this was genuinely an interest of his, but he put his reality producer cap on while he was deciding how to go through with it.
Yes. At first blush, the fact that Eric Straight whatever. What do you say?
Let's just go with, I was going to say straight, and then
let's go
you
straight.
said straight. Okay.
It's STREIT. So we'll go with straight.
Mm-hmm.
So at first blush, when you find out that this guy was a reality TV producer, you go, oh, okay, it's fake. This is fake.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, here's a quote, and it's a quote from a very particular place. We'll get into this. After working as a director on the Dr. Phil show, and as a producer on the docu-reality series Intervention, Straight produced 189 episodes of Little People, Big World.
Okay. Doesn't get more real than that.
So he's been in the industry for a good long while.
Yep.
He's worked on 1 million shows. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
On this show, when he's talking about his history with vampires, he's wearing a red neckerchief.
That I was beside myself. I
Okay.
can't believe that I stayed on the couch and I didn't just start rolling around on the ground when this happened.
He said, and they don't spend a lot of time on it.
No, and I could talk about it for a really long time.
He said,
I don't think he's using it to its best potential, his neckerchief.
I firmly agree, yeah. He said that the red neckerchief that he is wearing is made out of Kevlar,
Right,
and that protects him from vampire bites.
right. But he's wearing it like a rolled up bandana. Like if you took a bandana and rolled it up a whole bunch,
Right.
like it was trendy, maybe still is, to kind of wear like that, and then you tie it in like a little knot.
Right.
If this is really for vampire bite protection, I feel he should be wearing it like full triangular bandana,
Yes.
and it should be coming up to like his chin,
And I have to say
like a
that
dickie.
his co-host does wear like a full neck
Yes,
thingy. So I'm trying to show for people
a
who are
gaiter
watching the
or
video.
whatever they call it.
I ended up my stuff didn't back up right, so I can't pull it up on the screen like I wanted to.
Mhm.
But if you're watching the video version right now, the shorter guy is Eric Strait. He is wearing a red thing around his neck. That is his red kerchief that he says is made out of Kevlar, which is bulletproof vest material.
Yes.
And his co-host there is Marcin?
Why is it gone?
Marcel, and he's wearing a black one around his neck. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So, assuming that this was made in 2020 and that it's quite fake,
Right.
I would assume if I go back and look at photos of this man,
That he's always wearing his Kevlar protective.
and no matter where you look, I see photos of him and he's not wearing it. He's wearing like a business cas
I
shirt,
didn't think to
no
look at
red
this.
neckerchief.
I'm so glad you looked.
But I found this, and this blows my mind.
Okay.
Blows my mind. The quote I read to you before about his bona fides
Yeah.
comes to us from nyfa.edu. That is the New York Film Academy.
Uh-huh.
It is a school.
Yeah. He's a professional.
He came to speak to the school in 2016, and the photo that they used of him, looking noticeably younger than he does on the show,
Mm-hmm.
Kristen,
Oh my God, you know what? I came across this same thing and I didn't even think about it. Oh my God,
he
William.
is wearing the
that
red
answers
neckerchief.
everything.
He is wearing it. So this means it's all real.
That answer, William.
Vampires are real.
William,
Kristen,
I
they're real.
really can't thank you enough.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. That answers a huge chunk of this for me.
You're
He
so
believes
welcome.
they're real, and I came across that picture, and it didn't even register his neckerchief.
Kristen,
You're absolutely right.
it's clearly years ago.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I saw the same picture, and I was like, wow, okay, that's, whatever source I was looking at, I was like, okay, this is
Right.
an older source, but I didn't zoom in mentally on the neckerchief.
Yeah. So here's why this complicates
real.
things.
It's all real.
It's all true.
Yeah.
Here's why this complicates things, though. The show is clearly fake.
Well, okay,
Like it's
so
clearly
this,
populated by actors.
this goes to my point.
Kristen, does this go all the way to the top,
I think it does, because also I
or
remarked
all the
to
way
Wi-
just to below the top around the neck?
I remarked to Will that I find him to look like Steve Bannon.
Yeah, he does.
So
look like
perhaps
Steve
it does
Bannon.
go all the way to the top.
It might.
Okay, something that I posited to you in text before I said, okay, stop. We just got to talk about this on the show. Forget it. I'll stop saying things.
Okay.
Here is what I think about what's going on here.
Yes.
So look, I already thought this was the case, but William, thank God for you. You've confirmed for me that these are true believers.
This can't be Kevlar, can it?
No. No. But,
Where do you buy a Kevlar neckerchief? Where do you get that?
or maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe he has resources.
How flexible is Kevlar?
William, we said it goes all the way to the top. Perhaps he has resources that he was able to get, like a strip of Kevlar. That's probably custom. I don't think you can buy a Kevlar
A
neckerchief.
custom neckerchief?
Hang on. Let's look up Kevlar neckerchief.
It's like a bandana. Like
Yeah.
I bought a bandana from Ollie the other day.
Kevlar bandana. Let's try. Okay, it
Kevlar.
fills in.
Really?
Okay, this is a thing. I mean, it
What?
doesn't look like that,
Is
but
it for vampire wear?
no, it's for hockey.
For hockey?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. For getting
Not taking a puck to the neck
exactly.
or something.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So this is possible.
I'm getting one. How much is it? How much is it?
$150.
What?
Oh wait, nope. $14.99.
$14.99 is a big drop off.
I hadn't
That's
even
a huge drop off.
I hadn't even scrolled all the way to the top yet of
Yeah.
where it was, and I thought $149 in my head was what I had seen,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's $14.99.
That fits neatly into my bandana budget.
You can get a nicer one for $32.99.
No, that's too steep.
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I think about what's going on
Yes.
as far as format.
Tell me.
So now, confirmed, Eric and Marcel are true believers. I think that absolutely these are actors. There's no question.
Everyone watch this. Discovery Plus,
yeah.
Vampires in America. You're going to have a blast. I genuinely, we're
We
going to
were
make
just
fun of
talking
it.
about how we were bored by it.
Well, that too. But it's
But
both.
you will.
It is both. Yeah.
It certainly is both. Yeah, I don't want to too much oversell.
There's such
like,
a thing as a
well,
boring blast, right? A boredom blast off.
I don't know.
I think you're going to be
It oscillates because
bewildered, bored, and blast. I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because in the beginning, it was so out there that I was riveted. And then
Yeah.
I guess I had gotten acclimated to the idea. So then boredom started to set in.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it came back up a little bit. I'm not
Okay.
sure. But so I think that if you were to say to them, this is fake, they would
Yeah.
say, these are reenactments of things that we actually did. And people don't usually do this. I'm not saying this is good. I'm saying what I imagine. And people don't usually do this in reality TV, but we're trying something different. What if we upped the production value of taking you through these stories?
So it's a dramatization
Right.
of their real investigation style.
And usually dramatizations are kind of cutaway things.
Yeah.
And they don't have, I don't know, the hosts or people who said that they did this interacting with the fake person. So I will say they're taking it out a whole new door.
I'll tell you what.
I don't think it's a good door, but I have not seen this before.
I'm intrigued by that in theory.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's one of the trickiest sells
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Walking a real tightrope.
You know, I just think that, and listen, this is something that I struggle with. It's something that a lot of creators struggle with. You've got an idea that's too clever by half,
Mm-hmm.
and you're so proud of it. You're so passionate about your really, really, really clever idea. But sometimes people want something simple and familiar.
Yeah.
The phrase "kiss," keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
I think that this show, if that is the pursuit, if we're
Mhm.
going to take your theory there as a possibility,
I think so.
it's too clever by half, and it leaves the viewer going, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if this is fake but meant to be real.
Right.
Is it fake and meant to be fake? I'm not sure. It makes me think of, on Investigation Discovery, Joe Kenda.
Yeah.
You know this guy?
I've actually never watched the show, but I had the pleasure of meeting Joe Kenda.
Yeah, hell of a
Yes,
man.
hell of a
man.
guy.
Sturdy.
Yeah.
So
Sturdy and steady.
steady.
That guy's got a steady hand.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy he's a retired detective, and he's got a show on Investigation Discovery. It's all true crime stuff, right? He's out of the game.
Yeah.
So he tells stories of his adventures, and they've dramatized
Yes.
his stories with a younger cast.
Yeah, and that I'm very familiar with. I actually love that format. It's just so comfy and unsolved mysteries
Right.
and everything. But if you were to take Joe Kenda
Right.
and have him interacting with those
Yes.
actors,
It would be
It would be
puzzling.
weird,
It would
yeah.
be confusing.
Mhm.
And that's why I look at this and I think, is there no marketing because somebody greenlit a risky production and they still were like, well, what are we going to do? Like, not air it?
right.
We're going to air it. And if it does well, great. We can have more conversations. I think that's ultimately what this is. I think this is a
Yes.
passion project for these two guys.
Yep.
And I firmly applaud that.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
puzzled a little bit by the execution. I'm puzzled a little bit by the reality.
Mm-hmm.
But I firmly I applaud it. And I listen. This was not easy to put together.
Yeah.
If anybody looks at this and calls it lazy, they don't understand how hard it is to make something.
No, it's certainly not lazy.
It's not. Yeah.
No.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
But it feels to me like people who just wanted to try making something, and I really support that.
Totally.
As much as I will make fun of it.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
but try it out. Why not?
Absolutely.
William, I am barely over you finding that old picture of him with the Kevlar neckerchief.
It makes it a fact to me.
Yes.
So let's stay on him then while
Okay.
we're on the topic, because I did more digging on Eric Strait,
Mm-hmm.
and I found and I realized this might be a little weird.
Okay.
Found his Facebook.
Okay.
He is one of the few places where this show has been marketed. He's
Yeah.
tried to get the word out himself,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I took a few screenshots of a couple of standout moments I felt,
Great.
because he posted the trailer for it when it was coming out. And I was still at this point trying to figure out, is this fake or real, or is it a joke? Is it a mockumentary?
You haven't found the smoking gun yet.
Correct. Somebody asked this question. Wait, you're a vampire hunter? Okay, I'm watching. And then Eric responded himself, yes, been keeping it a secret for over 3 decades.
Nice.
Which sounds like a joke, And there's even a laugh emoji in response to this, like it is a joke. So
I
I'm
don't
like,
know. I wouldn't read that like a joke.
I've been keeping it a secret. He's been secretly hunting vampires for 30 years?
Given the context that he has a documentary about vampire hunting, I would be like, oh, okay.
While he was making Little People, Big World?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody else said, interview Rod Farrell. And I think this is something for us to look into.
It definitely is.
Interview Rod Farrell, the self-proclaimed vampire who murdered that older couple a few years ago.
Oh.
And Eric responds, I know his story well.
Oh.
And then we get 2 more responses.
Did Father Sebastian come up?
Father Sebastian?
Yeah. The head vampire of the Sabretooth clan of New Orleans?
Oh my God. No. What? All right, go for it. What?
So I decided to...
Father Sebastian? Perchance did Father Sebastian arise? No. No, he didn't.
Oh,
Why?
God.
What do we have to talk about? What do you got to say about Father Sebastian?
I guess I suppose he wouldn't necessarily because...
Sounds like you just
he is-
wanted to get to Father Sebastian.
You're right.
Methinks it's time to discuss Padre Father Sebastian.
Well, it did feel organic at first, but now that I think about it, not really.
It's like, all right, we can talk about your thing. Why? What do you want to say?
I don't know. They called
Sorry, I
that...
was boring you.
No. Oh. I don't remember the last time I was less bored.
Oh boy. Okay.
But no, because they were calling out a famous vampire. I came across a famous vampire named Father Sebastian.
Okay.
Who's the head of the Sabretooth clan.
Awesome.
And they're...
Sabretooth. All these things. You said it all so fast that I didn't have time to digest it.
Yeah.
Father Sebastian in New Orleans is the head of the Sabretooth clan is finally registering, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you go on YouTube and look up Vice, put in True Blood, because they're kind of using True Blood as a springboard for talking about this in the Vice thing, but they're investigating like real life vampires, and they decide to follow Father Sebastian, who is somebody who helps people get like fang prosthetics. He installs them and stuff.
Okay.
And throws kind of like a regular ball, and they even call it out in the Vice story. It seems a little culty, like everybody is kind of like referring back to Father Sebastian a lot.
Right.
And the reason I said I realized after I brought him up that this wouldn't really apply is because he doesn't identify as like an actual vampire who needs blood to live. It's more of a psychic vampire vibe.
Okay.
And finally, when pushed, he'd been kind of dancing around, and when pushed, he says, actually, the blood drawing thing, and he says a sweeping generalization. I don't know if it is or not. I have no idea. That's more of a fetish. That is a sexual thing.
Oh.
But the energy exchange is more what vampires in general are about.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he wouldn't be hot on the trail of Father Sebastian, but
I think Father
made me think of
Sebastian
it.
might be safe for now.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
Mm-hmm.
Stay on your guard, Sebastian.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't stray. One toe out of line. And Eric Straight is going to come straight for you.
Mm-hmm.
So other straight facts. Some more straight shooting.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Okay. At Vast Twilight on Twitter also did some more digging and said that Eric Straight wrote a book called Vampire Killers of Route 66. So I went on to Amazon and I bought it.
Okay.
That's how easy it is to get a sale out of old Willie.
Yeah.
Vampire Killers of Route 66.
Mm-hmm.
When a map documenting where hundreds of vampire safe houses are located,
That's the other... Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
team of highly skilled hunters is summoned to destroy the demons of the night before they destroy us. That's 156 pages.
Okay, and this is fiction, I guess? Is this like a... because that reads like the synopsis of a novel.
You're right, but who
Yeah,
knows?
you're right. What am I talking about?
Who can be sure? I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, is this like a Dan Aykroyd kind of situation? Does this guy have like a family history of like vampire stuff, and he wrote fiction about it, and he's trying to just get the word out there?
I didn't come across family history of it, so I'm not sure. We know
Yeah.
Marcel's a 25th or whatever generation vampire hunter.
True. Yes.
But I didn't see that about Eric.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm sorry I cut you off, Will. Was there more stuff from his Facebook comments?
Yeah, but I don't.
That was
I
okay.
can try to.
It's fine.
Let's see if there was anything
Mhm.
of interest here still, because there were another couple of quotes. So somebody had brought up a self-proclaimed vampire who murdered an older couple,
Right.
and Eric said, "I know his story well,"
Oh, right.
and left it at that.
Yes, what was that?
Somebody responded, "I was working mornings, here at this address with Gonzo when that went down." So some shared Gonzo contact.
Okay.
The morning of his sentencing, we talked about whether or not Rod Farrell, the self-proclaimed vampire, sounds like a Late Show with Conan O'Brien.
Yeah,
character
Rod
now,
Farrell, the self-proclaimed vampire. Yeah.
would get the death penalty. I said, if he gets the death penalty, don't use the electric chair. Drive a stake through his heart. A little vampire humor.
Yeah.
And then somebody responded to that. If you watch the show, supposedly it's very hard to drive a stake through a vampire's heart because it's too small. So the only truly effective way to kill a vampire is to chop off their head.
Wait, I don't remember. Is their heart too small?
It's not that their heart's too small, it's just a hard target to hit.
Okay.
That's what Marcel
Right.
says in this show.
Why is it a hard target to hit?
It's small.
Oh, but it is okay.
It's easier to chop off the head.
Yeah, right.
Is his point.
No, I know that.
But this commenter goes on to say, that's what the fake-ass Looney Tune Marcel von Fakenstein said.
Oh.
And that's posted right on Eric
his
Straight's Facebook. Throwing shade at Eric
That's not
Straight's
good.
co-host.
Right.
Which I think is a decent transition into Marcel.
Yes.
What are your
please.
feelings about Marcel?
He's the quieter of the two.
Yes.
I don't know. It's hard to get a beat on Marcel.
He has a German accent.
Mm-hmm.
He says he carries a machete with him wherever he goes because it's easy to cut off the head. That's the best way to kill a vampire.
That was definitely standout.
He says that he's never killed a vampire.
Yes. But didn't he say you saw his dad do it or something?
He did. He
Yeah.
said that his father saved him from a vampire when he was very small.
Right.
Here's something interesting. If you Google the name Marcel von Tingen, you only get this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This
He's
is
just a dude.
This is not
No?
This is not his real name.
Oh.
At Vast Twilight on Twitter again says that Marcel von Tingen is actually named Marcellus Schall.
Oh, okay.
I have found his Facebook as
Uh-huh.
well. And his
Excellent.
profile picture is him with that black neck guard on.
Perfect.
So it is him.
Yeah.
Not much activity.
Okay.
Definitely seems to keep it chill.
I
Not
wonder
enough.
if Von Tingen is like a far back family name.
Right.
And so he's using that as kind of his stage name.
It could be.
It also, it brings to mind Van Helsing.
It does.
So
That's true. And it doesn't necessarily rule out. I guess when you find out that that's not his real name, it makes you think actor. Fake, partially.
he didn't feel like an actor to me.
Yeah, but this whole thing is filled with clearly actors.
I don't think that Marcel Von Tingen is one of them.
No?
I don't know. I guess it is strange. I don't know.
He's largely the one with like the cold, hard facts.
right.
So he will explain like what vampires are. And interestingly, he's like, if you've ever seen a vampire movie,
Mhm.
they're right.
Oh,
He's
I
like,
know. That's one of
These
the
are
things.
vampires the way that every movie has ever described them.
That's one of the things that they say in the documentary is that vampires consulted on all of the great works of like vampire literature that we know of. So
Yes.
Bram Stoker's Dracula was written in concert with a real vampire
Right.
who was giving him information about their world, and ditto Interview with the Vampire.
Dictated by a
Mhm.
vampire.
Right.
But so he does explain a few things. If you go somewhere and you see a V spray painted with a circle around
I
it,
don't know why they would do this.
I don't know why they would do that. It means that there was a successful kill on
Right.
that spot. If there's a line drawn through that V, it means their breeding ground has been located and they are ready to attack.
Right. But why are they still doing this today?
I don't know.
Because first of all, I don't really understand the V on the ground at any point in time.
They can't have phones?
Right. But even like, why be like, this is the mark of the vampire. This is where I killed. It's already done.
Yeah.
I don't really understand why you're communicating that to other vampires,
I
because you're not
don't
even saying who you are.
Right.
So you can't even say, oh, it's because people want credit for it. It's just a general statement: a vampire has killed somebody here.
I think this may be rooted in something I've heard before, that homeless populations have signs that they will leave places saying like, this is a symbol and it means that people here are not friendly.
Well, that makes
Do not
sense to
go
me.
here. Right. So I guess the theory here is that there are not many vampires in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they are similarly migratory and leaving a sign of where they found safety, even for just a minute.
Oh, I mean, they don't really say that though.
No,
That
they
could
don't.
be. They're
I'm
just saying like,
extrapolating.
yeah, they're just saying like, yeah, I killed somebody here. V.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be.
He says wherever they go, they leave soil from their homeland.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Why?
And it's from Romania, meaning
Uh-huh.
all vampires are from Romania?
Right, but there are 20,000 like operational vampires in the United States today, and they're
Yeah.
all Romanian?
They're all Romanian. He tests the soil, and he says that if it has a high ammonia content, that might mean it's where vampires are, but it also might mean that's animal urine. So
That's
they send that off to somebody else to verify. He runs a test, and he's like, I knew it, ammonia. We're going to have somebody else test this now to see if it's animal pee,
Right.
ammonia, or vampire ammonia. I'm like, so you tested to see if you should get someone else to test
Yeah,
it?
why don't you just cut out the middleman, which is you?
Yeah.
Will, I just realized, do they talk in this documentary about the idea of vampires turning normal people into vampires?
Thank you for asking me exactly that question.
Oh, great.
They say, for the most part, if a vampire bites you, it's not to turn you, Kristen.
Right.
It is to drain you of your blood.
That's what I thought, because just now when I was wondering if I had skipped over something in my viewing, because when I said the thing about how everybody's from Romania, I thought to myself, wait a second, don't they turn people so there wouldn't be from Romania? So I'm wrong. But
Well, it's
then I thought,
puzzling.
I don't remember this coming up.
They can turn you.
But they get so excited and overzealous that they just drain all the blood
They
instead.
primarily drain you of all of your blood.
Right.
But sometimes if they leave some vampire saliva in a living victim,
Mm-hmm.
that person will become a vampire.
Right.
And presumably they still want Romanian dirt,
Right.
because all vampires leave Romanian dirt everywhere they go.
Well, I guess it's from their homeland, so I guess some vampires are leaving like Chicago dirt.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah, Chicago dirt.
Yeah.
Sunlight will burn their skin faster than humans, but it won't kill them. So
Same.
they're like us.
Yeah.
Garlic repels them, but it's not deadly. Same with crucifixes.
Mm-hmm.
Stakes can kill vampires, but it's just very hard to hit the heart, so they rely on the machete to cut off the head.
I think it's funny that they have a tiny heart.
Yeah. Vampire elders, it's theorized, can be anywhere from 500 to 5,000 years old. They know things our historians don't have a clue about.
Right.
They've been present for major, globe-changing events.
Yes.
They theorize that there are 2 vampire elders in each country.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they know that.
I don't know either. In an interview that I read with Eric Street, he said something interesting about the idea of vampires and garlic and stuff. So if they are humanoid and all of their senses are extremely heightened, they have like super smell and, super strength and all this.
Yeah.
The deal is that garlic is so pungent even to our normal human nose that to their vampire nose it's like unbearable because their nose is so strong.
Well, then theoretically anything's stinky.
Yes, correct.
Stinky cheese.
Stinky cheese, yes. But so that's the thing. It could be anything.
Stinky
But we
feet.
latched onto garlic
Okay.
because it's recognizable and it's very strong. And I guess vampires didn't like it. And
Too
so that's the thing.
stinky.
It's not that they necessarily have a fatal garlic allergy. It's that it's too stinky for them. Because
maybe
there's-
that's what all the blah,
Yeah.
blah was about. Blah,
Garlic, blah.
too stinky. Blah. So, here. Let's talk about the story a little bit. So,
Mhm.
the story is patterned thusly: Marcel and Eric go to a place or speak to a person.
Right.
They learn some piece of information from that place or from that person that makes them go, we should go here
Right. To the next place.
to the next place. So it's very much like popping from here to there to there to there to there.
Mm-hmm.
So where they start is with this farmer, ostensibly, whose cattle have been mutilated.
Right.
And he's like, damnedest thing, it's just crazy. Can't believe all my ponies been drained of all their life juice.
Yeah. And
Happened
just,
over yonder.
really dramatic. There are pauses left
Darndest
for
thing.
impact, and that was my first sign of what?
Yes. Usually if you see any documentary where they interview a farmer, he's like, yep, I've been working here for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. We had ponies and they all died. It's weird.
Yeah.
But this guy's it's like he's on
He's
Walker,
already
Texas Ranger.
convinced.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's being like, hard job. The only thing I do harder than farming is canoodling with ladies.
What?
I feel like he's doing like weird like drama actor guy where he's like sexy farmer.
Yeah.
Farmer sexy.
Definitely farmer sexy.
And so they're talking about how all the flesh has been drained out of the cows, and he's like, darndest thing is it's all been 2 puncture wounds on the neck, and that's it. I don't know what to make of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he strings along enough information to be like, it's definitely vampires.
Right, but then like, I don't know though.
And meanwhile, Marcel and Eric are the ones to like shoot looks to each other with little musical stings. We're like, two teeth marks.
We know what that means.
Oh my god!
But only you and I know what that means.
Right? Yeah, nobody else can figure this out.
Right.
They start talking about a case of somebody who died. They put text on the screen as if it's a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
So I immediately start Googling. When I saw on screen, they're talking about a guy named Connor Gordon who died, and the text on screen says, "Body of Connor Gordon found off of ... So immediately I pop that in quotes and I put that in Google. Search for that exact phrase. Let's find this article.
Yeah. What you got?
Here's what comes up. Not an article about somebody dying.
Okay.
Strangely, even though I didn't type in anything about vampires, all I did was search for body of Connor Gordon off of.
Mm-hmm.
I was directed to the fandom wiki for a character named Connor Jordan, not Connor Gordon, Connor Jordan from the Vampire Diaries.
What?
Coincidence? Certainly.
Uh-huh.
Almost definitely. However, what a weird coincidence.
That's a really strange coincidence.
And I believe the farmer's name was Jordan.
Yeah, I think you might be right. So wait, did you end up finding anything about a Connor Gordon?
No, this article does not appear to exist.
All right. Well,
does not
it's
appear
at
to be
least
true.
not cataloged on the internet.
Yeah, but where was this article then?
In the local paper.
And
they don't upload to the internet.
They only put it on paper. They handwrite each one of those papers these days.
Mm-hmm.
So Connor Gordon, nothing, but it did bring me to Connor Jordan.
Genuine question. I'm not really arguing that this is real. Is everything that's in a newspaper also online for public consumption?
Probably not, but maybe.
Yeah, I really don't know. But is everything that's in the Home News Tribune findable online? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. One of our listeners writes for Rue Morgue magazine.
Yes.
And listed Guide to the Unknown in the magazine in print.
So cool.
Which is very, very cool. And so I've got copies of the magazine over there. It's just neat to have and point to Guide to the Unknown in print.
Yeah.
Very awesome. Couldn't find it online.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that doesn't necessarily rule out that there was a Connor Gordon who was passed.
You're right, but how much smoke do we need?
Yeah, I know.
Because I'll also say this. I found a Reddit thread of everybody in the thread talking about this show and being like, this is definitely not real. This acting is bad. This acting is kind of kooky.
I only saw similar sentiments on Twitter.
Yeah. And I got this comment from Flimsy Fun 7481 who says, I work in telecom, so here's the geeky reason I'm not buying the show. An hour and 4 minutes and 52 seconds in, they show a scene from the alleyway of what they call their Phoenix, Arizona headquarters. A sign on the adjacent building says World Nails, and here's the phone number. I won't say it. Google Maps, they Google Map it. They're located at 2427 Broadway in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay.
So it was a critical error.
Right.
The wrong area code was on the World Nails sign.
Yeah.
And this person who works in telecom was like, that area code is not Phoenix.
That is a problem.
So this show that's saying that it's a documentary shot just outside Tucson was made in LA.
Ouch.
And people have found similar things. Like some locations that they go to and say are in Phoenix are actually in LA.
Oh, boy.
There are several things like that.
Also a place where actors dwell.
Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't help. The optics of it, it's not helping.
Yes,
right?
Certainly.
It's also not impossible that it's like, well, we did our headquarters stuff there. We didn't say the headquarters was in Phoenix. We said we were investigating something in Phoenix and we showed our headquarters, and that, yes, was in LA.
Right.
But we got to slow down the whole thing to go like, we're in LA for this part, but we'll be back in Phoenix.
Right.
There are plenty of things that you can point to go like, but isn't it possible XYZ?
Yeah.
And yes, of course it's possible that any one of these things are all
Certainly.
million coincidences that suggest this is fake.
Again,
But that's why you don't present this as if it's definitely real when clearly it doesn't feel real.
That's the thing. I again now am extra convinced that at the very least Eric Street is genuinely into vampire hunting.
Right.
And I have a feeling that he does not mind embellishing all the circumstances around it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. I
Mhm.
definitely think that you are right. I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
I also have they talk about how they're going to meet up with a private investigator named Tim Follin.
Yeah.
Instantly Google
I liked
him.
this part.
I love this is
Yeah.
so much fun.
This is a good part.
I Google Tim Follin and I find another Reddit thread. Everyone agrees everybody in here are actors. Someone says the farmer guy was too pale, so there's no way he works outside on a farm.
Interesting.
And then Evil Space Waffles, user
Nice.
on Reddit, says, felt like I was playing Red Dead Redemption or something. So I just want to remind everybody.
Yeah.
Patreon.com/GTTUpod. This past Monday, Kristen and I played Red Dead Redemption's horror-themed downloadable content
We sure did.
called Undead Nightmare. We fight zombies in that. It's
Yep.
available right now. Patreon.com/GTTUpod.
Mhm.
And while I'm on this, let
May
me
as
take
well.
a second to tell people that right this second on Patreon, Kristen and I have released our commentary track for the new Scream movie.
So you can hit play right when you tell it, or right when we tell you to, and then you'll hear Will and I talking over the whole movie.
The entire
So
movie.
I wouldn't recommend it being your first viewing of the movie.
No.
But we had a really great time recording it, and we have commentary tracks for all of the other Scream movies that people seem to have enjoyed. So we hope that you like this one as well.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed, everybody. It was a lot of
Mhm.
fun to do, and it's out right this second. So go get
Yeah.
it, patreon.com/GTTUpod.
And that's available for everybody who is on our Ghost tier, which is $4 a month and up.
Yes, if you become a demon, that is our highest tier, $13 a month gets you everything. An extra guide to the unknown every single week, in
Mhm.
fact.
That's
So
right.
go check that out. That's patreon.com/GTTUpod.
And we have an option in the middle, just so you know. There's also an $8 tier, and all
Yes.
that is laid out on the Patreon, so go check it out.
Dive in.
Mhm.
All right, so let's talk about the PI.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot of showmanship to this whole part, especially when they go back to study the bones
Yeah.
of somebody who's a victim, and the PI insists that they turn off the camera because he doesn't want to hurt his credibility
Forgot about that.
by like indulging in vampire belief.
They
or
lied to the
something.
PI and said, we're also private investigators.
Mm-hmm. No, that's right.
And then they're like,
I guess I thought they kind of are of a sort.
well, they're sort of the very private investigators where they're only doing this for themselves. You know what I mean?
And
like
us.
a private investigator is hired by somebody
Right.
to get to the bottom of a mystery, right? They're
Yeah.
just freelance vampire hunters.
Yeah, right.
So
But they do a lot of investigating. So honestly, I forgot that was even a lie.
yeah, well, so they look at the guy presents to them a bone,
Mm-hmm.
which looks like it's 3D printed.
Yeah,
It's clearly, I guess, a bleached bone.
it has to be.
But how white does a bleached bone get? Because this thing looks.
Somebody put a crest white strip on that thing.
It does not look real
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
And listen, I haven't seen many bones.
No.
Also, shouldn't that be in an evidence lockup?
Yeah, I don't know why
somewhere?
they're just like holding it.
Private investigator, man.
I don't know.
So Eric Strait brings out a set of dentures.
Oh, I have the quote that he said because it was amazing to me. This was something that he does regularly.
He said he keeps it on.
He
him
said,
all the
"I
time.
always carry a dental cast of a 19th century vampire killed in Romania."
He always has that with him, which feels like a
Same.
joke. That feels
Yeah.
like it's something right out of
I
like a
always
Best in
carry
Show.
it. Yeah,
You know, A Mighty Wind.
yeah.
It feels like a joke.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go anywhere without my 19th century vampire tooth cast.
Right.
And it's working out for me because right now I can line it up with the bite on this bone and it's exact.
Frankly, thank God he had it.
So all vampires have the same tooth spacing.
I don't know. Maybe it was that vampire who did this.
Maybe, sure. So he goes, well, I think we should, level with you. I know who did this, he says. And a long pushing on him.
Yeah.
Dramatic push. And he goes, it's a vampire. I'm like, well, that's not who did it.
Right.
That's what did it.
Yeah.
You've solved nothing.
Yeah. Right.
And then the
Well,
guy's
he
like,
pointed him in the right direction.
theoretically. And the guy goes, he's like, what? And he goes, I should probably tell you this now. We're vampire hunters. And the guy goes, guys, come on.
You're pulling my chain.
And for a second, I was almost like, that's like a good bit of it. They don't have him go like, what the hell?
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't have him like fly off the handle. He's like,
They're like, all right.
all right, come on. Come on, guys. And then he's like, and I was like, that's relative in the grand scheme. That's more naturalistic than anything else. And then, but then he goes, I'm gonna need you to put down the cameras. The guy, no wait, it's Eric Strait on the show. It's the host who does it. I forgot about it.
Takes the cameras
Eric
down?
Strait goes, guys, give me a second here.
Oh, okay.
So but he would want that footage if it were real. He would want to be convincing this guy.
I think they put up text on screen that said Tim whatever.
I think they did both.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
I think they say that Tim didn't want to talk about this because he was worried about it hurting his credibility as a private investigator.
Then Tim must be pissed because they did keep the cameras rolling in the other room when Tim goes, all right, listen.
Right.
Shouldn't be
now
telling you this.
I'm going to level with you.
But you need to look up somebody named Aaron Ross Lee.
Yeah.
All right, this guy's got some crazy stories, okay? I'm not going to tell you anything more.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
but
so
you're
this guy,
a vampire guy. I know some vampire stuff.
Exactly. How far do you think we'd have to go to find somebody who will level with us about some vampire stuff? Because they hit the exact right PI.
Yeah, like, you're right. Lucky them.
It's like, turn those cameras off. But yeah, I know.
I got a hot tip for you.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know. I'm with you 100% of the way. So they try to get in touch with Aaron Ross Lee. They fail. They get in touch with his mom.
Yeah, they call his mom.
His mom on the phone goes, oh, you're trying to get in touch with Aaron. I haven't seen him in a while. That boy has always been a detention seeker his whole life. She says this to some strangers.
Well, first when they call, they're like, we're calling to ask about Aaron. She's like, what did he do this time?
Yeah. She goes like, yeah, something happened about a month ago, and he gets angry real easily now.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And she goes, and by the way, whatever he says to you, I don't believe that story of his. I'm like, you're like willingly giving up a lot of information.
Yeah, right.
To these strangers over the phone right now, and setting it out like a little tantalizing morsel for them to follow up.
How could they not go after
She's
Aaron?
the best.
Yeah.
Accidental person to get on a documentary ever.
Again, these guys are stepping in it left and right.
Speaks in sound bites.
Mm-hmm.
They find Aaron Ross Lee's place.
Yeah.
They go at night.
He comes out to kick their asses.
He does.
Yeah.
Is like
he doesn't want to talk about it.
This whole thing is riddled with like smash to commercial.
Yeah.
You know? So like something dramatic will happen, meow, like Sting, and then they're in danger, smash to commercial. When you come back, they're like, oh, sorry, big misunderstanding. How can I help you?
Yeah.
And it made me think of Goosebumps. And that was when I started to really enjoy myself again.
Yeah,
Because I'd been going through all the emotions.
Well, William, also, are we skipping over, and perhaps we're not? No, I guess we're not. When they are chasing a vampire in like a...
Oh, in the homeless camp.
Yeah,
that comes up right in just a moment.
Great. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry.
I just wanted to make sure because that was a standout moment to me.
So Aaron, whatever, basically is like, who's there? Who's that? Who comes and knocking at my door? I'm gonna kick your ass. They smash commercial. When he comes back, he's like, sorry, I thought you were someone else.
Yeah.
I'd like to help in any way I can and have a peaceful conversation.
Yeah, right. And he tells them that he was living on the streets when somebody offered him a place to stay. And so he stayed with these two guys who then ended up trying to drain him of all his blood.
Yes. And so he was unwittingly giving his blood to vampires to feed off of.
Right.
And this is, I think, what has brought them to this, like, homeless
camp.
He's like, well, where were they?
Yeah.
So they go to this place where they use luminol to find where blood has been, and they find one handprint.
Yeah, and I can't remember how they phrase it. I don't know if you do, but they're like, there's a lot of it.
Yeah,
something bad happened.
It was terrible. They spray and you see the bloody handprint, and it's like one smear.
Yeah.
One thing on the wall. And listen, it's probably not a good thing for any bloody handprint to be anywhere.
Probably not.
But it's not like it's covering the room as far as we can see.
Yeah, it's just a single one.
Marcel goes, that's a lot of it.
That's a lot of it, yeah.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of it.
I know.
Like, you can't come up with anything more.
It's a great turn of phrase.
Nothing more evocative. That's a lot of blood.
That's a lot of it.
Unpack it. Right? And unpack a lot.
Yeah, right. I don't think we should unpack a lot because there's not really.
That's a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more than you want.
There's more, you're right.
Yeah.
So they're standing between two trailers.
This is amazing.
This is incredible. They're facing the camera. So the camera's pointed at them and we can see in the background. The deep background.
Somebody pops into frame in between the two of them.
Someone's standing back there.
Yep. And then they I guess they turn and see him. They're like, hey!
Ah!
And then they just start running after the guy,
And smash the commercial.
He evades them.
He evades them. He gets away from them entirely.
Yes.
When we come back from commercial, it's just these two guys like huffing and puffing, and they're like, "We've had to do that a lot. We've had many close. This means that we're close."
Yeah, I know. They're like, that's actually a good thing.
He goes, "It's very hard to catch a vampire,
Mhm.
but that's why we do it." Something like that.
Right.
And this is where I start going like, "Wait a minute, hold on. We're talking so much about what vampires do, what they want, how
Mhm.
they operate, and these two guys have seen neither hide nor hair of anything.
No.
And occasionally, now they're a homeless encampment, right?
Right.
Where like there could be anybody,
Mm-hmm.
and they definitely think that the guy there was a vampire,
Oh yeah.
and now it's a fact.
Yes, absolutely.
They think he was, so now he was.
Well, also, will they go into these? I guess they're kind of trailers or something.
Yeah,
And they do find a coffin
they do.
that is ajar.
That's true.
So
But I guess
stands to reason.
here's part of my issue. No matter where they go, they don't find anything,
Right.
but they see signs.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's just this weird feeling throughout the entire show that these guys might just be, let's say that they believe what they're doing is true. They might just be wrong about everything.
Yeah.
Because they never find anything.
No.
So they just keep going like they might, oh my God, you know what they're probably doing? They're probably trying to take over the United States. And then they smash to credits, and now they start acting like that thing they said is true.
Is law. They infer a lot. Although, Will, I will take issue with you saying that they haven't found anything. Eric said that he investigated a case on the coast of New Mexico in the 90s where a vampire killed a teen. Then they put the vampire in jail, but he broke out because he bent the bars open like Miss Piggy and left. Remember?
Did you say that part?
No.
Miss Piggy? He bent the bars like Miss Piggy?
In The Great Muppet Keeper.
It's
So he's encountered.
I guess, but in their show they don't.
No.
And so it just has
They
this
definitely
feeling
don't.
of like, it feels like they don't have a budget. You know, like it feels a little bit
They
like,
blew it on actors, maybe.
it feels like Jaws if you never saw the shark ever.
Yeah.
And by the end you're like, maybe there's not a shark.
Again, I think I'm used enough to watching paranormal stuff that I have no expectation of ever seeing the thing that we're after.
Yeah, but a ghost show, like ghosts are invisible a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
Or supposedly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
See through. They're saying vampires are just people.
Yeah, they're hominids. They're not people.
They're hominids.
Yeah.
And we should be able to see a person.
Yeah.
Also, if the whole idea,
But they have like super strength and speed and stuff.
he says early on, they could be anyone. They could be at the grocery store.
Mhm.
Forget what do they need from a grocery store.
He
they could
comments
be-
on that in an interview that I listened to. They're shopping for people at the grocery store. They go in the middle of the night because they can't be out during the day, and then they can track a person through the aisles.
That just made me want to throw up. They're shopping for people. What a cute retort. Why did I say that? I have an answer. They're shopping for you're the
for
product.
you.
Makes me want to puke. They could be your priest.
Uh-huh.
Crucifixes hurt them. Can they be your priest? You might see them at the post office. Sunlight hurts. So what are they doing at the post office?
I don't know.
You're the mail.
I don't know.
You're their package. Whoa! You know why they're at church? The body of Christ. Whoa! Whoa! The blood of Christ. Whoa!
Perfect.
It's too perfect.
My
It's just,
God.
I don't know. There's always a dodge out
I
of
know,
these
I
things. I don't know.
I know.
I don't know what to do. I don't know who I am anymore.
Well, let's talk about when they go into the caves.
Okay.
Okay, this is kind of the end of it.
All right.
They go
Only
in,
kind of because there's something insane happens at the end of this.
they go in these caves to. I guess they've heard that they're a vampire hangout. Is that what happened?
Yeah, they hang out in the caves.
Right.
Yeah.
And they say at one point vampires use candles as a light source in caves and dark places.
Smart. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
It's very good. What a distinctive feature of vampires.
Yeah. P.S. You know how you kill a human? A stake through the heart or cut off their head.
Yeah, that'll
How is
also,
this different?
will also work.
How is this
But
different?
so they go in this cave and they find backpacks.
Right.
So that
Oh, God.
instead of that saying like, oh, I guess teenagers hang out in here sometimes and like smoke and stuff,
Right.
that to them tells them that vampires have somehow lured or brought children down here to feed on the young.
And now it's a fact. Now
Yes.
they're like, my God.
They're like, that's what they're doing. So even in the synopsis
feeding
that
on
you were
children.
saying
Yeah.
before, the synopsis said something about how there's a plan or whatever.
Right.
This to them now is the plan. They feed on children because that gives them like supercharged powers.
It's such weird writing.
Mm-hmm.
And like if it's true, then they shouldn't trust their own theories so much.
If it's true, they shouldn't be so cavalier about
The jury's
this.
out until you prove it, right?
Yeah.
But no, they're like backpacks. They must be eating the young. So they're trying to eat the young.
Right.
My God, they're probably going to eat all the teenagers in town.
Right.
We got to help the teenage. And now it becomes a fact.
Yes.
If it's fake, you need a better smoking gun.
Yeah, then a backpack.
Before you can buy in to a theory.
So again, I feel that speaks to it not being fake.
I know. I also think they got to start going places during the day.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
Because they go into that cave at night and they
Right.
like get their machete up before they walk in.
Yeah.
I'm like, you think you're going in there and you might have to behead people on camera?
Right.
Your cameraman's gonna come in and film you cutting vampire
No.
heads off? How about you come back by the
Light of
morning
day.
light?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the sun shining.
But that wouldn't help because when you're in a cave, you're hidden from the light anyway. So vampires can hang out there all time of day.
All right, how about the homeless encampment?
Yeah, no, come in the day.
How about that guy who said he was bitten by a vampire and his
Look,
mom said that he has got a bad temper? He
I'm
might
with
be
you.
a vampire.
Yeah.
P.S. What I was starting to say about like if you're gonna go with like the guy behind you at the grocery store might be a vampire, your priest might be a vampire. How about some paranoia?
Mm-hmm.
How about some real paranoia?
So part of why,
Anyone they're interviewing
yeah,
might not be trustworthy, and they don't play with that, and I'm surprised.
it is surprising. Part of why I was like, oh God, I don't know if this is as fun as I thought it was going to be, was because when they were setting up the show in the very, very beginning, and I felt this less and less as it went on, which is strange, I was a little bit like, ugh, you know, in the time where there are people out there who are worried about the deep state and believing all this crazy crap, like
Yeah.
this belief in vampires, and they could be anyone and they could be anywhere,
Yeah,
is
you're
a little
right.
bit scary, because then if you're always at the ready and carrying a machete or a gun for signs of vampires, that's actually disturbing, you know?
what?
And then
You're right.
there's less of that sort of feeling to me as we kept watching, because it became so clear to me that this was so fake and schlocky.
Yeah.
I think if they maybe had been talking to real people about this, then I still might have had that like kind of pit of my stomach, like this is a little dangerous and scary feeling.
Yeah.
But it ended up being so fake that
Yeah, because they only spoke to performers.
yeah,
But to your point, if they're putting this out there under the guise of it being real, and
Yeah.
we've talked about this before, fake reality
mm-hmm.
is a major trope in horror for a million years.
Yeah.
Dracula has documentation that purports to be real in it.
Mm-hmm.
Blair Witch, Texas Chainsaw. There are 1,000 things. It's a legacy. It's a subgenre unto itself in horror to say this is a real documentary.
Certainly.
But when when it's on the Travel Channel alongside other supposedly real shows,
Mm-hmm.
and you're telling people you never leave without your machete because anyone might be a vampire and you might have to cut their head off,
Right.
is it just irresponsible today?
I think that if it was a little bit less fake, clearly, then because that was what my feeling was at first going into it before
Right.
meeting actors. I was like, I don't know if this is cool. I don't know if we should really be talking about this, but it's so out there that I don't feel that way.
Do you want more of this?
Do I want good question. I guess I would check it out.
This is
mostly out of-
clearly a pilot.
yeah, I would be curious if they would keep this same format.
You can't.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe they could. Do
Well,
I
we'll
want
talk
more
about
of
the
it?
cliffhanger.
I don't particularly. No, not really. What about you?
I think I applaud the effort and the fun of making exactly this.
Mm-hmm.
I wish them well.
Oh, I certainly do too, but it didn't leave me chomping at the bit for more to be made, if I'm being honest.
You know me. I'd be happy for them to get to make a show because that's great.
I think that goes without saying.
But
But if
am
we're
I-
talking about personal preference, like,
Yeah.
am I dying to have another episode?
Am I gonna watch
really.
this?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed watching this
Yeah.
because I look at it and I go, what?
Yeah.
And that's fun.
Yeah, it's totally fun.
Let's talk about the cliffhanger.
Yes.
So they okay, we go from the cave to town to now they think that there might they go to an arcade.
God, that's right.
They go to an arcade. The arcade starts coming to life around them. Just crazy. Like all the games turn on and they're like, whoa, whoa. And then there's a man standing behind them.
Yeah.
Smash to credits.
Yep.
Or smash to commercial. When you come back, the man goes, sorry, I scared you. I'm the owner of this place and I've been waiting for you.
I'm Barney.
I'm Barney.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you still be skeptical of this man if vampires can be anyone?
Yes.
Yes.
You're just skeptical of everyone.
Yes.
20,000 is a pretty big number.
Yes.
Too. You know?
Yes. Well, it turns out it might be even more. So Barney, the arcade man, goes like, well, yeah, I mean, all the raves and stuff, like the people who went missing during the raves.
Yeah.
What, you guys don't know about the raves? I thought that's why you wanted to talk to me. See, every person, every place gives them the next breadcrumb.
Yeah, totally.
So they're following the breadcrumb trail. It's like a relay race.
Yeah.
Run to this
kind
location.
Of theoretically awesome.
Pick up a new baton, sends you in that direction. So now they're investigating these raves, and that leads them to, what was this man's name? Sislak?
I don't know.
G. Sislak or something like
Probably
that?
G. Sislak.
Sergey Molovic.
Okay, so not G. Sislak.
Sergey Molovic.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember what, I think that the arcade man, Barney, just said he runs the raves. So they started trying to Google Sergey Molovic.
Yeah.
They come up with one photo from 100 years ago. And they go, and they talk about like theory to fact. They go, yeah, this is the only photo I got, unless this is him.
Right.
And
exactly.
he doesn't age.
So
he's still alive.
Yep.
And they start looking up S. Molov. They go, we found an S. Molov who's doing the raves and owns property nearby, storage facilities. They go, let's see what else he owns. He owns S. Molov owns storage facilities in every state. And they pull up a map, and it's got like radiating points on it, as if these are hot spots.
This is Vampnet, I believe.
Vampnet?
I think.
So S. Molov, theorized to be Sergey Molovic from 100 years ago, owns storage facilities across the country. And they theorize, they go to the storage facility. Inside every storage facility box is a coffin with dirt in it. We know what that dirt is.
Yeah, it's Romanian dirt, or from wherever they were created.
Yes, it is dirt called something. It had a name.
I don't
It's
remember.
called like Chernozem. That's what it was. Chernozem. It's soil content only from Romania.
Right.
So it's verification. All of these storage facilities that S. Molov owns contain vampires.
Yeah, they're vampire houses.
And they go, our estimate was off. There could be as many as 500,000 vampires across the country. Like, well, how are we going to stop Sergey Molovic? So we've gone from people have been missing in the southwestern United States to now we've got a big bad, a villain. And we theorized that it might be Sergey Molovic, but now they're like, how are we going to stop Sergey Molovic? And it's just gotten so big. And
it's gotten huge.
The fact that now they're saying it's a fact. It's a fact now that there are 500,000 vampires in the country and all these storage facilities that they've got to get to.
Right.
And they're like, they say they've been emboldened. The threat is real, and we have to be on high alert until we can stop them for good.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the documentary. So cliffhanger established. If this gets picked up for a series, every week they're going to be going to what? A new storage facility? Doesn't seem like there's much to explore. Because you know where
they're on the trail of Sergey Molovic.
They're going to hunt Sergey Molovic? They're not going to go state by state and talk about vampire culture in that state?
It doesn't seem like it.
Will they ever...
Did we really talk about vampire culture in this that much? Not really.
No, we didn't.
No,
we saw nothing.
It's a hunt. No, this is like Dog the Bounty Hunter with vampires.
Oh my God.
So no, I think this is setting up the search for Sergey Molovic.
Search for Sergey Molovic. S. Molov.
Yeah.
But what if they're one and the same? Smolov.
Yeah.
Smolov it.
Yeah.
Well, that's how they end it.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea what this thing is, how it was fully put together, but I think our theory is pretty good.
Yeah.
You've got passionate.
Yep.
You've got passion project.
Yes.
For people who maybe in their private lives genuinely believe this stuff.
Yep.
Maybe they just love it.
Yeah. And think it's fun.
Have put in their time working in the industry and managed to get some green light to try something.
Yeah, totally.
Put it out there and let the market decide.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get any marketing bucks for it. I bet that stings. And
Yeah, it sucks.
I understand that, and people, I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah,
So,
mostly
but
did.
I also look at it and go, oh boy,
Oh, yeah.
what are we doing
And
here?
I think that they expect that to a degree.
I think so too. So I do
and
recommend
court it to a degree.
I know we just spoiled the hell out of it. You gotta see.
Yeah.
You gotta see.
Yeah,
this thing.
yes, again,
Discovery
we
Plus, Vampires in America.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Let us know what you think about the Kevlar Neckerchief. Should I get one?
The smoking gun, I love that.
For my own safety.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you
To everybody
thank
for
you.
just thank you,
know
for
what? Thank you.
taking this ride with us. And like we said before, if you would like to support the show, which we appreciate so much, you can go to patreon.com/gttupod. There are tons of options there for your budget. All of them get different bonus shows. And thank you so much to everybody who already donates over there. It means the world. It truly does.
Yes.
You can also find us online at gttupod.com. That has links to all of our previous shows, the video versions, info about advertising, links to our Facebook group, all sorts of stuff.
There's so much going on, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon.com especially. I feel like we've
Yeah.
just got so much exclusive material there that is a lot of fun to check out and dig into.
Definitely. And there's a Discord channel that comes along with the Patreon at all of the levels. And it's just like cool people talking about interesting stuff, being supportive to each other. It's a group of like-minded people, and it's really, really sweet. So
bear in mind that when Kristen talks about cool people, she's also partially talking about herself because she's in there. And how do we feel about that?
yeah, so I guess take it with a grain of salt.
One last small-ish thing that I want to just share with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I did in some of my digging about Eric Streit.
Yes, I came
Straight,
across this.
I found this. He is listed recently as the board of directors for the Adventurers Club of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do think that this is a historical club that goes back quite a ways.
Yeah, he's a curious guy who likes to mix it up.
So I do think that there's something Dan Aykroyd-ish about him. I do think that he might be a believer.
Yeah.
In this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
Anyway, that's really neither here nor there, but just trying to like figure out the authenticity of this. And again, the fact that I think people look at somebody and go, oh, he's worked in the industry before, therefore all of this is fake, doesn't necessarily mean that. This could just be a passion of his. Well, I saw several people say that on Twitter and in subreddit threads.
Yeah.
So really just to dispel that, like you can be, it's a job, right?
Totally.
It's an industry.
Yeah,
and
you
so
can do multiple things too, even though I guess the issue is that, I understand it to a degree because people regard reality TV as so fake.
Right.
And so putting out something that you purport to be real while being somebody who's produced a lot of fake quote unquote content could be confusing for people. But I don't know. It doesn't mean you're fake 100% of the time.
Exactly. I also actually, I looked up on IMDb, there's like a very sparse IMDb for this documentary, but I did see that it was directed by somebody worth pointing out.
Oh.
And I'm surprised I didn't get to this previously. Vampires in America was directed by Clint Leolos.
Okay.
I checked on his other credits. It's a lot of reality shows. But notably, he was also the director of Duff Takes the Cake. So I wanted to make sure that I said that before we sign off.
Of course.
That the director of this also directed Duff Takes the Cake.
It lends credibility.
It lends some credibility. This comes from a real Duff Takes the Cake kind of guy.
Yeah. That's all you need.
We all know what that means.
Yeah.
We all know what that is.
That's an awesome name for
We
something.
all know that. So anyway, that's the last of that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, make sure you follow at GTTUpod everywhere to keep up to date with us.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that you had a lot of fun. We'll be back next week for more unusual stories.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what I think this can be summarized as.
Yes.
An unusual story.
Certainly.
Go check out Vampires in America, everybody. Follow us on Twitter as well.
Yep. I am at Chillin' Kristen.
I am at The Myth Traveler. So we'll see you next week, everyone. But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the netherworld go we. Perhaps to
Bazinga.
Romania.
I would go to Romania.
Eh.
No?
Not really. I don't really don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, you don't have the travel bug.
No.
No, I got a lot of bugs.
Such a hassle.
Yeah. It can be fun, though. It's fun to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like it fine. Yeah.